What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we have labor news update because this stuff never stops, man. I get these little reports here and there on my feeds, and I feel obligated to bring them to you because I don't feel like we get enough of this information unless we seek it out. So, big news: Delta pilots are ready to strike. The Delta pilots. So there it is, another action in solidarity, another example of solidarity. But what's interesting is that the chairman of the Delta committee sent out a letter to the members, and I want you to hear how he talks to his members and how their solidarity buoys the position of the negotiating team on behalf of the pilots. You guys, sometimes maybe it feels like when you hear the talk about solidarity and standing together, I feel like sometimes that can feel like nonsense. Like, yeah, right, whatever, dude. You sound like you live in a fantasy land. You know what I mean? But we have real world examples where people standing together for a purpose has been successful. And so this is another example of that. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop some comments, and share these videos. It's important to grow the channel, and I appreciate the help. So let's dive in. So like I said, Delta pilots are ready to strike. This is the chairman's letter. I want you to hear how he talks to his members. Fellow pilots, today voting closed on a historic strike authorization ballot, the first one conducted by the Delta pilots since 2006, with an outstanding 96% participation and 99% of us voting in favor of strike authorization. Thank you to all who participated in the ballot. No matter your seniority, we are all in this fight together. Your unity and engagement are the most powerful tools we provide the negotiating committee to leverage at the bargaining table. Your unity and engagement. Your union is only as strong as the membership. It's not going to come from leadership. It comes from membership engagement. Membership's giving a damn about how things go and why things are and how we make them better. It's really on us. So your unity and engagement are the most powerful tools we provide the negotiating committee to leverage at the bargaining table. The results send an undeniable message to management. We are ready to go the distance, up to and including exercising our rights to self-help under the Railway Labor Act, to secure a contract that reflects the value we bring to Delta Airlines. That's something that we do in construction. We undervalue what we bring. We got to keep in mind that without us, none of the raceway gets installed, none of the cable gets pulled, none of the connections get made, none of the switches get turned on. Without us, none of it happens, and there goes all of your profits. You understand what I'm saying? We got to realize our power. The RLA, which is the Railway Labor Act, allows for unions to be released for self-help. And a strike is the ultimate action we could take after exhausting the required process. A strike is not an action we take lightly, and one we hope to avoid if possible. Again, you don't want to have to strike, but these owners have to understand that these times, this level of inequality is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and so we're not accepting it. And again, it's not something that you want to do, but man, you cannot defang yourself. Otherwise, what kind of a threat are you, man? Go away. Take these crumbs off the table like we have the last two contracts. Here you go, little crumbs, little sprinkle here and there. However, we will no longer accept further delays or excuses from management. We are willing and ready to strike. Management's questionable decisions have forced us to carry the heavy burden of ensuring the continued success of Delta's industry-leading operation. This success would not be possible without the professionalism and hard work that we deliver. We continue to fly record amounts of overtime. That sound familiar? Record amounts of overtime? Spending more time away from our families. Sound familiar? Fatigue reports are at an all-time high, and our quality of life is degraded by the scheduling optimizer. The barrage of corporate memos thanking us for our hard work devalues the significant positive impact we provide on the line every day. If we are sincerely valued members of the Delta family, management can thank us by bringing comprehensive, industry-leading proposals to the table and end these protracted negotiations. They've been negotiating for years now. One thing is clear: Delta has money to spend, reported a record windfall of revenue for the third quarter, and has predicted a strong financial outlook. Further, in addition to wasting billions of dollars on pre-pandemic stock buybacks, sound familiar? That's the root of inflation, is all the stock buybacks and jacking up of prices by corporations. Delta continues to invest billions in joint ventures and millions in wholly owned subsidiaries. Remember, as our negotiations drag on, we last received a pay raise in January 2019, and we continue to labor under a contract signed in 2016. Delta can certainly negotiate improvements to pilot contracts in a timely manner when convenient for them, as witnessed last week. If management can come to an agreement in short order for high-value items for the Endeavor pilots, there is no excuse for the delays in negotiating our high-value items. We have yet to see an economic proposal that at a minimum accounts for the impact of inflation on our paychecks or the value we have brought to the company since our contract's amendable date. That is completely unacceptable. That's another thing that we can relate in our industry. Inflation has taken a cut from your paycheck. The message we have sent to Delta management is unquestionable. We will strike if necessary. We demand and have earned a contract commensurate with the highly unique skill sets we provide to bring safe, professional, industry-leading service year after year. Man, I could quote that and relate it to the IBEW. If offered anything less, we are ready to strike. Now, there was also a press release, and I want to give you a little bit more of the details on what was going on with this negotiation. So let's get into that. Delta pilots vote overwhelmingly to authorize a strike. Delta Airlines pilots, represented by the Airline Pilots Association International, ALPA, voted overwhelmingly in favor of a strike authorization ballot, with 96% of members participating. 99% of Delta pilots authorized union leaders to call a strike, if necessary, to achieve a new contractual agreement with Delta Airlines. The Delta pilots are working under pay rates, contractual provisions, and benefits negotiated in 2016. Negotiations for a new agreement began in April of 2019. April of 2019 they started talking, 9 months prior to the amendable date of December 2019. Talks entered mediation in February of 2020 and were paused in March 2020 for nearly 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Mediated talks resumed in January of 2022. Today, Delta's nearly 15,000 pilots sent a clear message to management that we are willing to go the distance to secure a contract that reflects the value we bring to Delta Airlines as frontline leaders and longtime stakeholders. That was Captain Jason Ambrosi, chair of the Delta Master Executive Council. Delta has rebounded from the pandemic and is poised to be stronger than ever, posting record revenues for the third quarter. Meanwhile, our negotiations have dragged on for too long. Our goal is to reach an agreement, not to strike. The ball is in management's court. It's time for the company to get serious at the bargaining table and invest in the Delta pilots. Before a strike can take place, the National Mediation Board must first decide that additional mediation efforts would not be productive and offer the parties an opportunity to arbitrate the contract dispute. If either side declines the arbitration, both parties enter a 30-day cooling off period, after which pilots and management can engage in self-help, a strike by the union, or a lockout by management. There's how it ends if it goes that far. So yeah, big action, solidarity movements, solidarity examples for us to learn from and hopefully follow. It's the only way we're going to improve our quality of life and our the quality of life of our family and friends. And that's part of the objects of the IBEW. It's part of what we swore to do. And the only way we achieve this goal, in spite of anyone who tells you otherwise, is solidarity. We got to stand together. We got to love each other. We got to be ready to fight for each other. And I don't know if you're ready to get there yet, but I know this channel's growing, And I know I'm hearing the language at the union meetings, and I'm seeing the faces in the events that we put on, and it's encouraging, and I'm loving it. And I'm loving everybody buying into their local union and wanting to make it the best that it can be. And I'm here to help wherever we can make progress. Don't forget, this fight ain't left and right, it's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one, get out there and reach one. Peace.